autoclave. It's a Greek word. Auto meaning self, clave meaning key, meaning it has a self-closing mechanism, meaning once the pressure starts building up inside the chamber, it is difficult to open this machine. So this is called autoclave. The principle applied here is moist heat sterilization. We mainly will be seeing about the principle applied in autoclave in this video. Here you can see the law applied here is Boyle's law. Boyle's law states that pressure is inversely proportional to volume when the temperature is constant. But here, instead of temperature being constant, what happens in autoclave is the volume remains constant. It means the size of the autoclave chamber will not vary, right, in a single instrument. So this is the autoclave chamber. Just assume that there is some amount of water molecules here. But in this autoclave machine, what happens is steam is pushed into the chamber. Okay, steam will be pumped into the chamber. We know steam is nothing but the gaseous form of water molecules. The liquid form, we call it as water. The same water molecules in gaseous form is nothing but your steam. So when this steam is pushed into the chamber, what happens is the volume is not changing. The chamber volume remains the same, but the pressure starts increasing here, right? Since the pressure is increasing, what happens is the normal boiling temperature of water is 100 degree in an open vessel. Like you keep it on the stove and start heating at 100 degrees centigrade. When the temperature reaches, water starts boiling. But inside autoclave, what happens is when you start heating the water inside a pressurized chamber, the boiling point of water increases and it reaches to 121 degree centigrade. So what is the pressure reached inside the chamber now? The pressure which reached is 15 psi. Psi is nothing but pounds per square inch. This is the unit what we use in autoclave. So the normal atmospheric pressure is like 1 atmospheric pressure is nothing but 14.7 psi. Inside this now we are increasing the temperature to plus psi above the atmospheric pressure. So total pressure which is developed inside the autoclave is 29.7 psi. So at this temperature or at this pressure for about at 15 psi, when the boiling point of water reaches 121 degrees centigrade, this machine is kept running for 15 minutes, and that is called the holding time. The easier way to remember is holding time is 15 minutes at 15 psi, and the boiling point of water reached here is 121 degree centigrade. So now at this temperature, how it causes sterilization? Okay, now you have kept all your instruments inside this chamber which needs to be sterilized. For example, we'll take a flask. Okay, this needs to be sterilized. Now what happens is this steam or water condenses on this instrument, and steam is hot, right? It has what is called latent heat, and that heat will be transferred to these instruments, and that will be efficient to kill the bacteria, fungi, viruses, spores and all that, right? So that's why this autoclave machine is mainly used for surgical instruments like scalpel, forceps, scissors and all what we use. Some glasswares like flask, test tubes and all which they have been used in laboratories can be sterilized, and also culture media in microbiology can use this autoclave machine for sterilization. Just to summarize, remember the law applied here would be Boyle's law, and the holding time for this autoclave machine is 15 minutes at 15 psi, where the boiling point of water reaches 121 degree centigrade, and the mechanism of sterilization here is from the steam heat is transferred onto the vessels or the instruments whatever is kept inside the chamber. So because of the extreme heat, this instrument now gets sterilized.